Hello. Welcome back to the broadcast. Fearless beating Capital Punishment. I had Capital Punishment. That was a bit of a mistake. Fearless are now guaranteed to go on. We need to figure out whether or not Goonswarm can kind of equalize in the next match. But Fearless are looking really strong.
Well, I think they brought the Vindicators this time just to show that they can win a match with Vindicators without burning out all their guns.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Well, Capital Punishment losing their flagship. Now, I didn't check the kill mail myself, but a little bird outside in the studio told me that that flagship was fit with all officer, everything that you could fit officer.
Ravy is a fairly big bird.
Yeah, he is a pretty large bird, actually. Ravy's actually 8 feet tall.
Yes.
He played for the Canadian NBA.
So yeah, how many billion are we talking?
It depends which officers.
Yeah.
But Officer Newts are particularly expensive. Officer Webb's exceptionally expensive. And Officer Heatsinks exceptionally expensive as well.
So we might have been talking 20 to 30 million or billion.
Yeah, you're looking at probably about 3 to 5 billion per module.
Yeah.
At the least.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean that's a definitely a big price tag. I mean,
But I mean, on the other hand, this is the match you need to win.
Yeah.
Like if you don't win this one, you're out.
they definitely need the Capital Punishment. Definitely needed that. But they went balls to the wall and didn't.
And if there is a ship
Complete.
to fit officers on like that, it is the Balgorn. The extra range from just the innate officers are bonused even greater by the range bonuses of the Balgorn. So you can Newt and Web to insanely long ranges. Like you would not. It doesn't even make sense in your head when you start getting neuted by like 90 kilometers away. But I don't know if that's actually a real number because I'm not rich enough to fly Balgorn with Officer Newts. But it's very far.
Is that what makes it the most popular? Like, it is the most popular flagship.
Yeah, it has the most utility out of any of the ships. That's why you see probably about 99%. I think there's one Macarial and one Nightmare for
There's
flagships.
also Megatron.
Megatron.
But everything else is Balgorns. I mean, you get the Newt bonus, you get the web range bonus, and just the utility that you get from those is just very extreme compared to, like they say, a Vindicator as a flagship.
Yeah. The only other ship that has been theorized that would be really good is a Scorpion with all Estimals multi-specs in the mids, but we don't even know if there's that many out in EVE. So
Fair enough. I think we're just going to chat to the commentators quickly and hear their reactions and maybe some questions from the forums.
Hi, I'm CCP Sunset in the commentary booth with Ravy and Kill2.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hi.
How you doing?
Doing really well.
It's very hot and sticky in here now.
It could be stickier. Michael Bolton's not in here.
Wow, I love being in here with you guys. The funnest things come out of your mouths. So I've actually had to abandon all my computing power. My laptop that I was using to monitor the forum thread has all gone. Everything has gone to bolster up the streaming. So hopefully we're going to see some improvements in that. But I do have some questions that I managed to scribble down real quick before I had to give up all of that. So let's talk about drones. I would like to talk about drones, and more drones. There's been some comment on maybe it's not entirely clear all the time what drones are in use, how many, what they're doing. So can we just talk a little bit about how we've seen them used so far and different uses?
Yeah, we generally try to mention them if there's something especially unusual going on, but usually what you're going to be seeing is damage drones or ECM drones, the two most common things. The ECM drones being the jamming ones, more so than things like webbing drones or tracking disrupting drones. Damage drones, I think, are probably like 3/4 of the time. It's been almost always damage drones.
And I was actually, it's funny, you're right, we haven't talked about drones as much today, and I think it's kind of because the frigates are actually sort of taking over that slot in my attention. Like, what the frigs are doing is kind of what the drones used to be doing some of the time. So
a lot of the time, yeah. I think like damage drones are what I've always actually kind of leaned towards in the whole debate between damage and ECM. I feel that being able to kill frigates is extremely valuable for teams. But with the rise of assault frigates, with how good they are at knocking down other frigs, that opens up some space, I think, more for ECM drones.
I really don't feel like we've seen a lot of drones. It's not like teams are often doing weird things like sending drones at frigs instead of at primaries. Yeah, like we haven't really
seen
a lot
usually they're going on the primaries. Usually ECM drones are going on the logistics.
Yeah.
Usually it's been pretty clear choices.
Yeah, straightforward stuff.
We usually try to point out when it's things like smart bombs going off that are
Right.
destroying the drones, because that's something that a good, well-rounded team should pretty much always have some smart bombs, because the ECM drones can be so valuable. And they die so fast, the smart bombs. ECM drones have much smaller hit points.
And not only can you smart bomb ECM drones, but there's a lot more light drones in this tournament because of all the Ishkars and because of the Taluses.
Taluses, just
I don't
the
know why
large
I thought of that,
number
but
of
there's,
ships.
I
so
feel
they
like
get
there's
these
tons of
swarms
small
and
drones. So yeah. Smart bomb's good.
Okay. You didn't mention armor maintenance spots. There's obviously a lot of different kinds of drones, but those are the two main ones. But they can be used in a lot of different ways, like in general on TQ.
Yep, you do see a lot more armor maintenance spots in the tournament than on TQ. Most people don't train the skill, the level 5 skill you need for the Tech 2 ones, unless you're a tournament team.
Right.
So you'll actually see a lot of teams using the Tech 1 versions when they do use them, because it's so hard to find someone that has the Tech 2 skills. It's usually just people that have trained for the tournament for like a year.
Yeah, and we have seen a couple armor maintenance spots, but really not very many at all.
Usually when you see them, it's being put on the logistics.
Right.
And they can be handy.
Yeah.
They're especially handy against low DPS teams, like an ECM team or something like that.
Okay, let's talk about armor and shield.
Okay, so we've got a graphic up on the screen talking about armor and shield repairs. The biggest difference between the two of them is, well, there's two main differences. One is that shield boosters take mid slots, armor repairs take low slots. The other is that you've got the beginning of the cycle is when the large shield booster, the boosters affect, and then the armor repairs don't take effect until at the end of the cycle. So you can react faster with the shield boosters. We also have a graphic there for the ancillary shield booster, which is the very, very popular module in this tournament. That instead of using cap, uses cap boosters. Uses a item that's in your cargo hold to do its thing.
Yep, so that uses cap boosters, right? So just that's casting my mind back to when I could last look at my forum thread. Somebody was asking about how the cap boosters all have the same effect on that module, like the smaller ones.
Yeah. If you're going to use an ASP, don't always put the smallest cap boosters in there. It does the same amount of boosting regardless of what size you use, but you can fit more if you use the smaller ones.
So there's never any reason to use anything but the smallest that's allowed in that booster.
Okay. So back to drones, because I was loving the drones, because I'm a drone girl. I tend to drone on a little bit, some people anyway. What kind of team do the web drones best fit into?
Web drones, I'm not a huge fan of. The main reason being that they're tracking or they're stacking penalized in the same way that normal webs are. So if you get 10 web drones on a target, the last of them are doing essentially nothing because of the stacking penalty.
Oh.
So usually when you use them, it's going to be only a couple. Mixed in with damage or ECM drones. And the best teams to use them on are kite teams. Teams that you know you're going to need to be at a control range and slow people down. If you can't fit a Hugin in, maybe a web drone or two on some key shifts can help you get that little edge. Yeah. But we haven't seen a lot of them. We saw one on the Revolution dual tanking Macarial team. Which had a number of questionable choices in it. But I think that's the only one that I've noticed.
That was actually sort of when I would expect to see other people use them, is on a ship in a setup where your ships were sort of slow and didn't have another way to control range so that you could catch up. Like on a Macarial is a good example because it doesn't have a drone bonus, it doesn't have an enormous drone bay, so you don't need the DPS there necessarily, and you gain a little extra tackle, which frees up mid slots maybe. But it's not popular choice, and probably because it's not a very good choice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so talking about poor choices, what would you say would be one of the strongest setups that you've seen so far in this tournament?
Probably the one we just saw from Fearless.
I was going to say, that's starting to look like it's
the
kind of the front runner.
team that also happens to have Vindicators.
Yeah. I always like seeing, it's not strongest, I won't even say it. I like the Amar kind of utility setup, like Curse, Oracle, Guardian. Like we've seen some of those, like Darkseid I think brought a setup like that yesterday.
Darkseid, yes, they love their MR setups.
Which I really like, but I don't think it's the strongest setup.
The Guardian's one of the ugliest ships, in my opinion.
I don't know, I like the color.
I don't know.
Red and gold. It's my old San Francisco 49ers fandom coming out.
Yeah, all the Amar ships are kind of blingy to me. We don't seem to have seen that much Amar, that many sort of big Amar setups. Seems to be,
Amar's less popular.
It's been the least popular race in the tournament for quite a long time. There's some very popular ships, the Curse especially.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's head back to the studio and back to Soundwave, and we'll be back later. So, back to Soundwave.
Thank you very much, Sunset. We are nearing the final match of the first half. We, of course, have the second half coming up where you'll get 8 more matches. Until then, though, Virtua Collapse versus Goonswarm is going to cap this morning broadcast off. First of 8 matches, the last of 8 matches. We're going to go on a 45-minute break. We'll show you the schedule right now so you can plan all your toilet breaks, pizza eating, and whatever you're going to get up to while this is happening. That's what I'm going to get up to. I'm going to go to the bathroom and eat a pizza. So, Virtua Collapse 1720 versus Goonswarm, then a quick break till 1820, and these are all Eve time, by the way. We'll kick it off with Heretic Nations versus the Gorgon Empire, and then again run all the way till 2100 Eve, finishing with one heck of a match, Pandemic Legion versus Road Capel. That should be really exciting. Pandemic Legion looking to seal their entry into the final Sunday, and Road Capel trying to recover from what was a bit of a silly loss.
Right.
Or something. Or something.
Or something.
Also, while we have you, CCP Alice, on the forums, people have been asking if this is an American-themed tournament, or is this like a green screen that we just put up, or what is this?
Well, see, actually, we're currently in space at the moment. So, you know, it's what you see out the back window, so we don't really have a say in the matter. You know, this is just the whatever nebula. Yeah.
I always thought it'd be a lot colder in space because it's kind of hot here.
No, it's all the lights.
Yeah.
The lights.
They keep you nice and toasty.
There's a lot of lights in space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All the time.
yeah.
All the time.
It's those solar flares we had yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm looking at survival rates for ships, and I'm fairly certain that. Nope, I'm wrong. Nope, I am completely wrong. I was just about
I'm
to say.
fairly certain that I'm not going to draw any conclusions.
I was just about to say, no Vindicator's been lost in this tournament yet, but boy, am I wrong. Anyhow, let's grab the last match before the break. It's Virtua Collapse versus Goonswarm. What do you say, Laz?
I think if we can do the basics, like look at turrets and missile launchers, I think we should be able to take this match. The Virtua Collapse team was very mad yesterday after losing.
All right.
I think Virtua Collapse was pretty mad. They posted a lot about how mad they were and how they didn't want that tournament anyway. So I'm going to go with Goonswarm Federation.
I'm with the Goons as well today.
I think I might as well. They look like they're a fairly solid team, surprisingly.